All right, so you know how we're always digging through the latest research, looking for those truly remarkable stories in science?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this one's pretty special.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, some of the material we've been looking at suggests that next week, get this, you might actually get a chance to see something with your own eyes that hasn't lit up our skies in this way since 1946.
Wow, now that's what I call a rare event.
It is, and that's exactly why we're diving deep today into all the buzz around a potential celestial explosion. We're talking about the nova of T Coronae Borealis.
That's right. You've gathered some fascinating pieces on this, and what we really want to do today and break it down and help everyone understand what's going on with this anticipated event, why astronomers are particularly excited about it right now,
Yeah.
and ultimately why you should be looking up at the night sky in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. So T Coronae Borealis.
Yeah,
It sounds rather technical.
it does.
For those of us who aren't exactly astronomy buffs,
Right.
what are we actually talking about here?
So think of it as a relatively inconspicuous star, normally too dim to see without help, located within the constellation Corona Borealis,
Okay.
the Northern Crown. And what makes TCRB so special is its history of these dramatic brightening events, these nova outbursts that occur roughly every 80 years.
An 80-year cycle.
Yeah, it's a cyclical phenomenon.
That's incredible. So if the predictions are right, most of us alive today have never seen this happen before.
Yeah, that's right.
And the sources indicate this upcoming explosion should be visible without a telescope.
That's what's so exciting about it.
That's a pretty significant event.
It truly is. The last recorded eruption was in 1946.
Wow.
Making this a repeat performance for a very select few, but a brand new spectacle for the vast majority. To have a star suddenly appear so prominently in the night sky is not something that happens very often, especially one bright enough to see without any special equipment.
Okay, so a normally faint star in the Northern Crown is getting ready for a major light show.
You got it.
Something we haven't seen in nearly a human lifetime.
Exactly.
Got it. But what's the underlying cause? What's actually happening up there in space to trigger such a dramatic transformation?
Right. Well, that's where the fascinating nature of T Coronae Borealis as a binary star system comes into play.
Okay.
So it's not a solitary star, but rather a pair of stars locked together by gravity, orbiting around a common center.
Okay.
One is a red giant, a star nearing the end of its life.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is a white dwarf, the dense core left behind after another star has exhausted its nuclear fuel, and they're located approximately 3,000 light years from us.
A red giant and a white dwarf in close proximity.
Yep.
Okay, so let's unpack the significance of these two types of stars in this context.
All right, so a red giant is in the process of cooling and expanding dramatically as it ages.
Okay.
And as part of this expansion, it also begins to shed its outer layers, essentially ejecting material into space.
Okay.
Now, because the white dwarf is a very compact and dense object with a strong gravitational pull,
Right.
and it's orbiting quite closely to the red giant, it starts to capture some of this expelled material. Think of it as a cosmic siphoning effect.
So the white dwarf is essentially drawing fuel hydrogen specifically from its aging companion.
Precisely over time, this hydrogen-rich material accumulates on the surface of the white dwarf.
Okay.
Now, the white dwarf itself is incredibly dense, so this added layer of hydrogen is subjected to immense pressure and heat due to the white dwarf's strong gravity.
Right. So this buildup is happening over decades.
That's right.
Slowly increasing the pressure cooker environment on the white dwarf's surface.
It is.
That sounds like it's leading to a pretty explosive outcome.
Exactly. Eventually, the density and temperature at the base of this accumulated hydrogen layer reach a critical threshold, triggering a runaway thermonuclear reaction. It's akin to a massive hydrogen fusion bomb detonating on the surface of this incredibly compact star.
Wow, so that sudden intense burst of energy from this fusion reaction is what we'll see as a dramatic increase in brightness.
Precisely, this explosion releases an enormous amount of energy in a very short period, causing the normally faint star system to brighten by many magnitudes, becoming thousands of times more luminous. This sudden increase in light is what makes it visible to the naked eye. Our sources suggest it's expected to reach a peak brightness comparable to Polaris, the North Star,
Oh, wow.
which, as you know, is quite prominent in our night sky.
That's just mind-boggling, to go from practically invisible to shining as bright as the North Star.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable.
So the big question, the one everyone's probably asking, when is this celestial spectacle predicted to occur? Our material points to a specific time frame.
Yes, based on the historical record of previous eruptions in 1787, 1866, and 1946, astronomers can extrapolate a likely time frame for the next one. These empirical extrapolations, essentially predictions based on past observations, suggest that the nova could peak around Thursday, March 27th.
Okay.
However, it's important to remember that in astronomy, predictions can have a window of uncertainty.
March 27th, that's literally next week.
I know it's coming up quick.
So if these long-term patterns hold, we could be in for a treat very soon, and the sources say this heightened visibility is expected to last for more than just a fleeting moment.
That's right. The expectation is that T Coronae Borealis will remain visible to the naked eye for a few nights, perhaps even a week or two, around its peak brightness. After that, the light will gradually fade as the expanded material from the explosion cools and disperses into space. So if you get the chance to spot it, you'll want to do so in the initial period of its outburst.
Now, it's interesting because one of the sources you shared mentioned some earlier observations and predictions from the American Association of Variable Star Observers.
Right, the AAVSO.
They noted a dip in brightness in March and April of 2023 and initially thought the nova might happen around April of this year.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
What does that tell us about the predictability of these events?
That's a really insightful point, but it underscores the complexities involved in predicting these stellar outbursts with absolute precision. The observed decrease in brightness last year was interpreted by some as a potential precursor to the nova, a kind of pre-eruption dip. While that observation was valid, the subsequent prediction for April 2024 turned out to be a bit early.
Yeah.
It highlights that while the roughly 80-year cycle gives us a good general idea, the precise timing can be influenced by various factors we don't fully understand yet. It's a reminder that astronomy is an observational science, and our understanding evolves as we gather more data.
It definitely makes it feel less like clockwork
Right.
and more like a natural phenomenon with its own inherent variability. But the fact that we have these records stretching back centuries, 1787, 1866, 1946,
Right.
that consistent pattern is still a pretty compelling indicator, right?
Absolutely, these historical observations are invaluable. They provide a strong statistical basis for expecting another eruption in the near future. It's akin to tracking the return of a comet with a well-established orbit. We know it's coming back within a certain time frame based on past appearances, even if the exact day might have some slight variation. The consistency of this roughly 80-year period for T Coronae Borealis gives astronomers a significant level of confidence that we are indeed on the verge of another nova event.
So this isn't just some random flash in the sky.
No.
This is a recurring event within a known system, something that astronomers have been monitoring and anticipating based on over 2 centuries of observations. It's pretty remarkable, and one of our sources included a really inspiring quote from Dr. Hounsel about the significance of this event.
Yes, Dr. Hansel happily described this as a once-in-a-lifetime event for many, and importantly emphasized its potential to inspire the next generation of astronomers. The opportunity to witness such a dramatic cosmic event firsthand, to be able to look up and see something so extraordinary happen, can be a powerful catalyst for curiosity, prompting individuals to ask their own question and even consider collecting their own astronomical data. It connects us to the vastness and dynamism of the universe in a very tangible way.
I love that it's not just about this science, it's about the wonder and the potential to spark that initial fascination with the cosmos.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's bring this all together for you. Based on the sources we've explored, starting potentially around next week, March 27th, you have a genuine opportunity to witness a rare stellar explosion with your own eyes. This binary star system T Coronae Borealis, located in the Northern Crown constellation, is expected to undergo a dramatic increase in brightness, becoming easily visible without any special equipment for a few nights.
It's a chance to observe a thermonuclear explosion occurring on the surface of a white dwarf star located 3,000 light-years away, something that hasn't been this visible from Earth in nearly 8 decades. So keep a close watch on the night sky, particularly towards the Northern Crown constellation.
And with that in mind, here's something to really ponder. That light that you might witness from T Coronae Borealis next week has been journeying across the vast expanse of space for 3,000 years to finally reach your eyes.
Wow.
Take a moment to think about that immense timescale. What other incredible cosmic events might be unfolding right now, light years away, whose light is still on its long, silent voyage toward us? It truly expands your perspective on our place in the universe, doesn't it?
It really does. It makes you realize just how much is happening out there that we may not even know about yet.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep looking up
Definitely.
and stay curious.
Always.